struggle to survive in our green seas can have far-reaching consequences. Once a year, one particular meadow in Australia is transformed. Around the first full moon of winter, an army materializes. Spider crabs. For the past year, they've been feeding in deeper waters. Now they march across the seagrass plains. Hundreds of thousands of them. They clamber over one another. Creating great mounds. Nearly 100 meters long. They're not seeking mates, neither are they laying eggs. They have come here in order to grow. Like all crabs, their bodies are enclosed in a hard, unexpandable shell. So to grow, they have to break out of it. And that allows the soft one that has developed beneath to expand. It will take days for the new shell to harden. Its legs are so limp that they won't work properly. The crab is unprotected and in great danger. A smooth stingray. It's huge, about 4 meters long. It wants a soft, freshly molted crab that will be easier to eat. The crabs try to stick together. But now, disturbed by the ray, they're scattering. A newly molted crab is too weak to keep up with the crowd. The safest place is right in the middle of the pile. That is why they have all assembled here. There is safety in numbers. But the vast majority of the crabs escape, and within the next few days they will be ready to return to the depths and resume their lonely wanderings in search of food. This is no graveyard, but the triumph of 100,000 crabs successfully molted. It's July in the deserts of Nevada in the western United States, the hottest time of the year. Bands of wild horses, Mustang, are converging on one of the last remaining waterholes around. Now, water not only offers them the chance to drink, it can also bring power. If a stallion can control access to water, he will have secured mating rights to the entire herd. So stallions try to dominate these pools, fighting off rivals who venture too close. A stranger. He's travelled 15 kilometres to be here, because the pools where he's come from have already dried up. With him come his females. If he can't provide them with water, they will leave him for the white stallion, who already dominates this pool. So he will have to fight. Everything to lose. A broken leg or a shattered jaw would mean a slow and painful death. A missed kick. And it's all over. The new arrival has won. And his prize is more than just a chance to drink. He has provided for his herd and in the process stolen his rival's females. The white stallion's rule is over.
The Nile crocodile. A creature older than Africa itself, its hunting skills honed over 200 million years. Using extreme stealth, the crocodile needs to get within a meter of its prey. Desperate to drink, the buffalo seem blind to the danger. Just too much for a croc out of water. But there'll be another chance.
The differences are only in the animals themselves, their strategies and their settings. In the sky, there's no place for a stalking predator to hide. So for the element of surprise, the peregrine falcon has to resort to sheer speed. In a dive, it's the fastest bird in the world. So fast, it's breathtaking. It stalks by flying high and relying on eyes that are as good as telescopes. The fat, slow-looking pigeon might seem to be doomed, but it evolved as peregrines evolved and is equipped to watch for them. Eyes on the side of its head enable the pigeon to forage for seed and scan the sky at the same time. It spies the peregrine. And once it's in the air, it becomes a racer. The peregrine, lightness, streamlining, speed. The pigeon, strength, endurance, enough speed, and a head start. The peregrine is more maneuverable. The pigeon has a wider field of vision, though, and plenty of maneuvers of its own. It's also flying for its life. This time, the pigeon outflies its pursuer. This peregrine is still young and just learning that speed by itself isn't always enough. It must raise its game.
For sea lions to venture into deep water here is very dangerous indeed. It's much safer to stay in the shallows if they can. In one or two places, channels enable the whales to get really close to the beach. Those are the danger spots. To get off the beach, the killer has to thrash its body. No other whale deliberately beaches itself in this way or has perfected this method of getting back to the sea. As long as the sea lions stay well up the beach, you might think they would be safe. But the hungry whales are very daring. Now, several of the whales are hunting in a group. That sea lion was keeping just ahead of one of the whales, but was caught by another it probably hadn't seen. This savage beating may be to separate hide from flesh.
The Mara River marks the edge of the Ridge Pride's territory. Right now it looks peaceful enough, but believe me, it can be a death trap. I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Lions hardly ever attack crocodiles. In fact, normally they give each other a wide berth. With these lions, almost anything can happen. The message is, don't mess with the Ridge Pride.
Donkeys have been bred to be docile, and they have no instinct of how to escape. No animal has a concept of restraint, predators least of all. These last 45 minutes could be their undoing, and it puts Flip in a really awkward position. He doesn't want the cubs killed, but keeps to his promise to inform the village.
These two young lions are very important to your conservancy. But if these lions kill any of your livestock, you know you can shoot them if they cause problems. And it is not for me to say or ask for you not to shoot them. That's your decision. And all I'm saying to you is before people shoot them, if they kill livestock, you've got to think very carefully. Those two lions were born here, they are used to this area, and that's very valuable.
To see a tiger hunting boar is extremely rare. To capture it on camera is virtually impossible. But Bagani takes me by surprise. I'm worried. She's taking a terrible risk. But as I watch, I see a new Bagani, a changed tiger. This one is the master hunter I knew at Ranthambore. She carefully moves her tail round the grass stems to ensure she makes no noise. Surely, nothing can stop her now. The fact that Bagani leaves her kill shows her confidence. There is no one who would dare take it. This really is her territory now.
If undisturbed, wildebeest can drink 8 litres in a single session. As his confidence builds, he is oblivious to what lurks beneath the surface. The herd is bewildered. Some have never seen a crocodile before. Even as the full horror unfurls, there is great confusion about just what is going on. And that was just the first attack. "300 hungry crocodiles live in the Grumeti River. Wildebeest react differently to crocodiles and other predators. Even the adults seem unsure of just how much danger they're in. The calf's desire to quench his thirst overcomes any fear he may have. The crocodiles maneuver around them with surprising ease. They are intelligent hunters plotting their attack with precision. A strike can happen at any time. Despite the carnage, the mother and calf survive. They stampede back onto the plains. For the baboons, it's more like a spectator sport. They might as well settle down. A single croc can take some time to overpower its victim. But crocodiles are cooperative feeders. They work together. The death roll breaks the prey into bite-sized chunks. But aggression can spill over. Wolves. These in northern Canada are the largest and most powerful in the world, and they're setting out to hunt. The pack is 25 strong, a sign that the prey they're seeking is formidable. These bison are even bigger than their southern cousins and the largest land animals in North America. For generations, wolves and bison here have been shaped by their battles with each other, making each the most impressive of its kind. The bison will not stay long among the trees. They're not safe here. The wolves are closing in, but their chance of ambushing the bison in the woods has passed. Their prey are now in the open and grouped together for safety. The wolves will need to work as a team if they're to make a kill. They circle the herd, trying to unsettle it and split it up. But the bison are armed and dangerous. They will be safe as long as they stick together. The wolves up their game, harrying the herd, a ploy to trigger a stampede and split away one of the smaller ones. The bison form a defensive circle around their young, horns pointing outwards. The wolves need a bison to break rank. But the tables are turning, and now the wolves have to retreat. The pack focus their attention on the rear of the herd, and the bison begin to panic. A young bison falls behind. Even this yearling dwarfs the wolves. Running head down, the herd's only thought is escape. A stroke of luck for the wolves. The kill will feed the pack for several days, but then they will have to resume the chase. At the frozen ends of our planet, the struggle for survival never eases. Little fish try to hide amidst the undulating swell of the ocean, the only cover there is. It's a game of hide and seek, played out amongst the waves. Their cover blown, escape seems impossible. But these particular fish have a unique ability. They're flying fish. With an extra thrust from their tails, the flying fish get airborne once more. With a good wind, they can glide for hundreds of meters. This is just what the frigate birds have been waiting for. When frigates join the hunt, the flying fish are literally caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. If the flying fish get too much lift, they become easy prey for the frigates. If they dive to evade attack from above, they could fall into the mouths of the Dorado. Food is so hard to find this far north that a wolf pack must search hundreds of square kilometers if it's to be successful. And success means raising the next generation. To do that here, the wolves must work together. So the young are raised not only by their parents, but by their aunts and uncles as well. Together, they try to ensure that each pup reaches near adult size before the snow returns. A growing pup needs more than just a few leverets. The wolves need bigger prey, and to catch that, they must hunt as a pack. Adult hares may be easy to spot, but they're far from easy to catch. They run at 60 kilometers an hour. To catch one, the wolves work as a team. One of them gets close enough to bite the hare's tail. But a hare can change direction in an instant. If it can continue to sidestep and jink, it may ultimately outlast them. Finally, it gets away. For the next hare, the whole pack gives chase. Now numbers count. The lead wolves keep up the pace. Others run on either side, so the hare can't change direction. A tiny meal for the whole pack. Kenya, famous for its big cats, the supreme hunters. Cheetahs specialize in hunting at speed. Though fast, they're fragile creatures built to sprint after small prey. They don't have the strength or weight of a lion to bring down larger animals. This male is different. He doesn't hunt alone. He's learnt that there is strength in numbers. But here, there are not just 2, but 3 cheetahs. A band of brothers. They have changed their tactics, and by doing so, have taken their prey by surprise. They have learnt that, working together, they can bring down large prey. An ostrich, a bird that towers over a cheetah and is more than twice as heavy. It can't fly to escape danger, but it can lash out with a deadly kick. A female, unaware as yet of any danger. Even with 3 of them, this is still highly risky. If one gets injured, the other 2 couldn't hope to tackle such large prey. On the other hand, if they get it right, the rewards are huge. The male has spotted one of the brothers, but only one. It's not too worried. Then suddenly there are 3. The female is slower to realize the danger, and the cheetahs switch targets. It takes the combined effort and weight of all 3 brothers to bring down this powerful bird. Even now, the ostrich could land a fatal kick. So far, the brothers are winning. Ostriches have yet to find a way to foil such tactics. Lions will normally avoid hunting in such heat. But they're also opportunists. The lions will need to bring him down quickly before they overheat. away from the herd, a bull is a formidable opponent. It could gore and kill a lion. Close to overheating, they finally succeed in bringing him to the ground. But the massive bull is not giving up. Against the odds and the full weight of the lions, he regains his feet. And it is now that the tables turn. The lions are exhausted. After a 20-minute struggle, only the bull has the energy to finish the fight. In such exposed and extreme conditions, the challenge for predators and their prey is at its most intense. In the Serengeti, youngsters spend years watching how older lionesses tackle large prey. However, it looks as though these cubs will have to teach themselves through trial and error. They begin the stalk like seasoned hunters, using the scant cover to conceal themselves. And they have to be incredibly quiet. Oryx are spooked by the slightest sound. One of the youngsters looks as though it's made a mistake. It's broken cover. Actually, very cleverly, it's pushing the oryx towards the other lion. An oryx is quite capable of seeing off a lion as long as the antelope stands its ground and doesn't run. But will the oryx keep its nerve? Finally, the youngsters lose heart.
Back in the hive, those bees too young to forage are housekeeping. Like the hornet queen, the queen bee has the immeasurable task of laying enough eggs to ensure the health and future of the colony. The custom of keeping wild Japanese bees is as old as society itself, and Yamaguchi has kept bees since boyhood. Japanese bees are so sensitive that it takes great patience and skill to keep them. The art of keeping them lies in understanding their behavior. They make honey stores for the winter, but they also produce enough for Yamaguchi to harvest. Japanese bees may produce less honey than European bees, but the taste is very special. It's the smell of this growing store of energy-rich honey which could be their downfall, if it draws in a hornet scout. But right now, the hornets have other problems to contend with. The nest is now monstrous. The workers have excavated over a ton of earth. There are so many bodies living at close quarters that the queen and her dynasty are in danger of overheating. So workers create air conditioning, keeping a steady flow of fresh air circulating. Being unable to cope with high temperatures is a giant hornet's Achilles heel. The warmth of the hornet's nest belies the change in season.
Seasons change fast up here in the mountains, and when autumn arrives, there are far fewer insects around. This means my hives are even more vulnerable to attack. For me, it's an anxious time.
In the search for autumnal food, a scout hornet discovers Yamaguchi's wild bees. The honeybees fan an alarm pheromone through the air. This alerts the whole hive to the hornet's presence. The scout smells the honey within. A prize this rich is worth scent marking. But unlike the European bees, these Japanese bees do not attack. Instead, they lure the scout inside. Still, the bees hang fire. Then one is caught. It's the signal the others have been waiting for. Surrounded by vibrating bodies, the hornet at the core of the bee ball begins to overheat. The bees have the advantage, a heat tolerance 2 degrees above that of their enemy. At 46 degrees Celsius, the aggressor is roasted alive. The wild bees have spent millions of years living with the enemy. That's why they alone have developed this extraordinary survival strategy.
These males are the troop leaders. They hold all the power here. Joining them is every young male's ambition. To be accepted into this elite is the path to privilege, but it's a dangerous journey. The youngster decides to follow. At first, he has enough sense to keep his distance. These males are twice his size. The low-ranking chimps retreat before the troop leaders arrive at the waterhole. Dominant males have a highly stressful life as they constantly squabble to protect their position. The youngster can't take his eyes off them. This is his chance to get himself noticed. If he can impress even one of the big males with a show of strength, he might just be accepted into their ranks. His best attempt at a macho display has certainly caught their attention. But they are not impressed. In fact, this drumming means they're getting rather angry. And they attack. The youngster is not quick enough. He gets a short, sharp lesson about how hard it can be to break into this close-knit gang. He's lucky to escape with just an injured hand. For the moment, he's neither big enough nor strong enough to be taken seriously by the troop leaders. Without status, he will never enjoy the privileges of the best food or the attention of females.
A couple of days later, I can't believe the pack's luck. A herd of muskox are grazing in our valley.
They are huge. Now that is one animal I'm scared of, and they've got a bad attitude towards anything that looks like a predator. Right, I'm not too happy about this because the muskox are coming straight towards me.
I'm in a very dangerous position, trapped between the wolves and their prey.
Now, this could get interesting. How's this going to play out? It looks like they're going to cross right over towards the wolves. It's crazy.
Muskox pose a danger to the pups.
The wolves are up on their feet. They're heading right up towards the wolves. Holy mackerel. Now these wolves are going to have to spring into action. My God. Really like, God, these wolves are super cool.
My wolves are hungry, but this is a big herd. The pack are outnumbered 2 to 1.
It's not often that a meal comes straight towards a wolf, but that's what seems to have happened here. Now the wolves have to really think carefully whether this is worth it, whether they stand a chance. Oh, she's making a go for it.
Luna and Romulus lead the charge.
They're going for it. They're going for the muskox. They're going for the muskox. Jeez, they sit panicking amongst the herd. They don't want them to get them up on the hill because they'll lose them on the flat.
Muskox have regained the advantage.
2 massive bulls, about 10 females. Maybe they don't stand a chance. Crikey.
A huge bull senses their desperation. In the confusion, the herd make a break.
Oh my word.
With Luna and Romulus in pursuit.
That was exciting.
A lone Grevy's zebra. He weighs close to half a ton and could go for 3 days without drinking. Like the macaques, his forebears were refugees from the advancing Sahara. The land is scrubby and dry. But this stallion has claimed it as his own. He's been waiting months for visitors. Female visitors. If they like his territory, they might stay a while. It's his first chance to mate for a very long time. Hardly a success. Perhaps his visitors are looking for a more impressive partner. There's another setback. The females were being followed, a posse of young males, everyone a rival. It's time to separate the men from the boys. One by one, the stallion sees them off. The females had ringside seats, and his prowess has not gone unnoted. Machismo gives way to tenderness. Around here, you have to take every opportunity, be it for food, for water, or for mates. Female grevies are a fickle bunch. The herd have decided to move on. All of them. The stallion may never see them again, but there's a chance that one is now carrying his foal. Losing its fear of humans has enabled one animal to spread into cities everywhere and in huge numbers. Pigeons are by far the most successful urban bird. Here in Albi in the south of France, the pigeons come to the river to bathe. They need to preen their flight feathers, clean off the city dust, and cool themselves down. But death lies in wait. A predator that has taken advantage of the very thing that has led to the pigeon's success. Their lack of fear. As the pigeons bathe, oil from their plumage flows downstream and is detected. Monstrous Wells catfish. Introduced here just 40 years ago, they have proliferated, virtually exterminated the local fish stocks, and they've now developed a taste for pigeon. Their eyesight is poor, so they use their barbels to sense the movements of their victims. This is a radical new hunting strategy for what is normally a bottom-dwelling fish.
Moja lacks the confidence of his intrepid neighbours. And not only that, his energy levels are at an all-time low. It's been days since he last ate. And as the rainy season wears on, food is scarcer than ever. But Nyota is determined and extremely patient. She spends hours watching and stalking potential prey. She even memorizes every warthog den on her patch. Eventually, her patience pays off. Another warthog, this time a huge male with deadly tusks. She needs to get close before she attacks. The bushes provide the perfect cover. Mission accomplished. Now she must protect her kill. The boar is as big as she is. It takes all her strength to drag it into cover. It's slow and exhausting work. A hidden island is the perfect place to defend her kill. She calls Moja in to feast. After the meal, a rare opportunity for Mum and her cub to relax.
Gila woodpeckers nest in holes they've drilled in the trunks of giant cacti. Cactus wrens and thrashers like to build their nests among as many spines as possible to protect their chicks. They're all waiting to cash in on the cactus bee gold rush. For just a few days, thousands of bees emerge from the ground to mate. Males fight for females, resulting in chaotic mating balls. Food for everyone. But where to start? So many to choose from. The birds use all sorts of different tactics to snare as many bees as they can. A long bill certainly helps. To succeed in this desert, you must always be ready to seize the moment. And why share? In a matter of hours, thousands of bees are caught to fuel the next generation.
Sailfish, 3 meters long, are closing in on prey. They will only use just enough energy to make their kill, never wasting a fin stroke. Nearly 100 sailfish have surrounded a single school of baitfish. It's very rare to see so many of these hunters in one place. To herd their prey, the predators raise their huge dorsal fins. A mistimed strike by one sailfish could fatally damage another, but each continually changes its color from blue to striped to black. That warns its companions of its intentions and also confuses the prey. As the shoal is driven nearer the surface, it comes within the range of the seabirds. Out here in the open ocean, there is nowhere for the baitfish to hide. sailfish live a high-octane life. To survive, they must find prey daily. So their entire existence will be spent on the move. Thirsty elephants often race into pools, but the matriarch knows that her family must not rush in. This pool is stagnant, and the elephants have a trick that deals with that. Sediment settles to the bottom, and the cleaner, fresher water lies on the surface. They skim it carefully from the top. Then, as gently as elephants can, they move forward slowly, trying not to disturb the stagnant layers. But precious water like this draws in herds from far and wide. In the exuberance of a greeting, all their careful work is undone. When bulls are forced together by the need for water, tempers can flare.
With little competition and few predators, they grew to enormous proportions. Today, New Zealand's trout can reach lengths of almost a meter and weigh up to 5 kilos. These prize fish have monstrous appetites and surprisingly bloodthirsty tastes. So some fly fishermen opt for something a little more substantial. Here, the insect imitations have been replaced with fluffy imitation mice. House mice first arrived in New Zealand as stowaways on European boats. This youngster is looking for his next meal. But first, he'll have to run a gauntlet. For mouse or man, opportunities come to those who take them. New Zealand is a modern paradise for newcomers from around the world.
A Sally Lightfoot crab. One of thousands of shore crabs just waiting for their moment. Every day they gather on the tropical shores of Brazil, waiting for the tide to go out. Which exposes their feeding grounds. Seaweed-covered rocks 100 meters from the shore. Getting there is a race against the tide. They leap from rock to rock. These crabs seem to be afraid of the water. And for good reason. A moray eel. The chain moray is a specialist crab hunter. Its blunt teeth can easily grip and crush a crab's shell. It's the crab's deadliest enemy. But the crab's feeding grounds are still a long way off. They must press on. Halfway. But their enemy has other ideas. Crossing the land. To reset the ambush. To feed, the crabs must keep going. But nowhere is safe. An octopus, also a crab killer. The crabs make a dash for it. Made it. Risking life and limb to graze on these seaweed pastures. But in 2 hours' time, when the tide starts to turn, they will have to run the gauntlet all over again. Back in the Australian rainforest, this weaver ant fortress sits at the heart of a rich territory. Hunting parties go out to gather food to fuel their growing numbers. Some canopy caterpillars are not killed, but farmed by the ants. They exude a sugary secretion that the ants collect. In return, the ants mount a guard to protect the caterpillar wherever it goes. But a successful colony inevitably attracts enemies. This jumping spider's body shape resembles that of an ant. A disguise good enough to fool these nursery guards. It's after one of the colony's most valuable assets, the grubs. In a colony numbering tens of thousands, a single grub is an insignificant loss. But the rich territory of a successful colony draws more destructive enemies. Raiders from a neighboring weaver ant colony looking to expand their own empire. Invaders are quickly spotted. The guard releases pheromones to alert the rest of the colony. They stream out of the nest to defend their home. If the home defenses fail, the colony will be wiped out. Some of the defenders deploy their most potent weapon. They squirt formic acid. The stinging liquid halts the invaders in their tracks. And now the home guard can go on the offensive. Home and territory are secure once again. A colony may lose many workers in defense of its home, but their sacrifice helps safeguard the next generation. It's now midsummer, and the sun is shining at full strength. The increasing warmth is the cue for an Atlantic lobster to start on a long journey. She spent the winter 250 meters down, far beyond the reach of the storms. But it was cold down there, and now she needs to find warmer water, so she's marching towards the shallows. They, however, are 150 kilometers away. After a month of walking, she finally arrives at her favoured sandbank. But she's not the first here. Dozens of other lobsters have already dug themselves homes in the sand, and they don't intend to surrender them to newcomers. Size counts for everything in these battles. The new arrival is in urgent need of a pit, and since she weighs a hefty 7 kilos, she stands a good chance of getting one. She's won. These battles continue for the next 2 months, and they're crucial, for the females must have both shelter and warm water if they're to raise their young. For the last 7 months, each of these females has been carrying around about 20,000 fertilized eggs. But their task is approaching its end. The warmth of the shallows is speeding the eggs' development. 2 more months, and the eggs are ready to hatch. At first, they're not very good at swimming. But within a few minutes, the babies are able to set off in a purposeful way. Danger past. And that's just as well. Because he is a father. And he's guarding some very precious eggs. For the last few weeks, females, one after the other, have visited him and entrusted him with their offspring. Some are now almost ready to hatch. There are several clutches on the leaf, and those at the top, the most recently laid, are barely a day old. But in the jungle, there's always someone out to get you. This wasp is a specialist hunter of frogs' eggs. It's noticed the wriggling tadpoles at the bottom of the leaf. He mustn't move. The youngest eggs are the most vulnerable, and he can't guard them all. But these tadpoles are not as helpless as they might appear. Incredibly, the unhatched tadpoles can sense danger, and the oldest and strongest wriggle free and drop into the stream below. The eggs at the top of the leaf, however, are still too young to hatch. And now the wasps know they're there. But the male's back looks very like the youngest cluster of eggs. And that seems to confuse the wasps. Using his own body as a decoy is a huge risk. The wasp's stings could kill him. He's managed to save most of his young. He'll have to remain on guard for another 2 weeks. But in the jungle, just surviving the day can count as a success.
This is one of them. From the purposeful way in which he's walking, it's clear that the search for prey has started. The other members of the team are not far away. They've been steadily following the monkeys for about 20 minutes, looking for an opportunity. The technique they'll almost certainly use is that one of them will be driving the colobus ahead of him. Then there will be others that go up on either side who are the blockers, who won't make any attempt to catch the monkeys. And then there are chasers who go and grab at the monkey if they can. And finally, there's one male who will go up ahead and ambush it, so bringing the whole trap closed. The monkeys are now getting alarmed. A driver's going up to prevent the group from settling and to drive them towards an area where they're more easily trapped. That's one of the blockers that's now quietly come ahead of the colobus. He's halfway up the tree now. He's deliberately making himself conspicuous. Now it looks as though they're all in position. The driver's gone up, the blockers have gone up, and now the one who's going to make the ambush and close the ring, he's gone up too. The colobus will be very lucky if they escape now. They've got one. The hunters are tearing it apart. Everyone, the hunters in the trees and the spectators on the ground, are screaming with excitement. And now the kill is brought down so that the females and others can share it. And there's the reward for that long chase. The divided body of a colobus monkey. These blood-stained faces may well horrify us, but we might also see in them the face of our long-distant hunting ancestors. And if we are appalled by that mob violence and bloodlust, we might also see in that too, perhaps, the origins of the teamwork that have, in the end, brought human beings many of their greatest triumphs.
In only a few months' time, the water here will cease to flow. 8,000 square kilometers of swamp will dry and disappear. And all the hippos of the Okavango will face real hardship. Water is the hippo's sanctuary. It keeps them cool in the baking heat and provides the vegetation on which they depend. And safety away from predators. But with all of this slowly evaporating, everyone will need to be prepared. The calf is now several weeks old and has built up his strength. It's time for him to meet the family. Returning to the pod with a new baby is inevitably risky. A mother has to re-establish that she's a member of the pod. And in the excitement, a clumsy adult could crush her calf. The dominant bull is right in her path. If she stands her ground with him, half her battle could be won. But the real problem comes from an unexpected place. Her previous calf is showing an unhealthy interest. She's battle-scarred and appears to have a quarrelsome nature. Jealousy or curiosity? Whichever it is, it's dangerous. Her calf is far too young to be pushed around like this. He's frightened and stays close to his mother. This has turned into an attack, and the mother must put a stop to it. The pair remain on the periphery of the pod. But the rest of the family can still hear them. Hippos are thought to be the closest living relatives of whales. And they too make most of their vocalizations underwater. Their head and jawbones capture vibrations and transmit them directly into the ear. Vibrations become sound. And in these quiet waters, these can carry up to a mile. They're setting off on the greatest overland trek made by any animal. Wherever grass-eaters travel, predators lie in wait. Here they are, Arctic wolves. They must seize their chance while the caribou pass through their territory. The wolf runs at the herd, trying to flash out the weak or the slow. A calf is separated. At full tilt, 60 kilometers an hour, the wolf is just faster. Has stamina. Only a few weeks old, and this calf's will to survive is remarkable. And it needs to be, for these young caribou have now started a journey that will last a lifetime. Forever chasing the seasonal growth of the grass on which they depend. Like all grassland creatures, they are at the mercy of these unpredictable but ultimately bountiful lands. Grass can survive some of the harshest conditions on Earth: flood, fire and frost, and still flourish. So it is that grasslands provide a stage for the greatest gatherings of wildlife on planet Earth. St Andrew's Beach is one of the most crowded on the planet, and so holding a territory here is a constant battle. This bull elephant seal holds the mating rights to 60 females. For 2 months, he's guarded this stretch of beach. Unable to feed, he's losing 10 kilos a day. And he's exhausted. But other bulls are lying around, waiting their chance. Blubber, 15 centimeters thick, is protection against the cold, but not from the impact of a 4-ton opponent. Holds his ground and forces the intruder back out to sea. Life in the Antarctic is harsh indeed. But all these creatures come here because the Southern Ocean is one of the richest on Earth.